In the 1920s, Bobby Jones, Gene Sarazen, and Walter Hagen all dueled it out for major championships. Fans of the game will never forget Jack and Gary and Arnie slugging it out in their primes. But in between these great rivalries was one of the most interesting of them all: Hogan, Nelson, and Snead. They traded major championships between them as if no one else was entitled to win. But what made it even more exciting was the amazing contrast in their personalities. Hogan on the golf course was in his cocoon of concentration. Nelson with his brilliant shot making and the father of the modern swing. And then larger than life slamming Sammy Snead. When one thinks of what could have happened had Nelson not retired in 1946 at the age of 34 after winning 11 in a row and 18 of 30 the year before. Of course, Hogan and Snead would go on to wage incredible battles for many years to come.
Tell me about the tee shots that you and Gene Sarazen and Byron Nelson all hit at the Masters this year.
Well, Gene got up first, and he hit it in the heel. It went right off the right of the first the tee into the people. Byron got up, and of course, that bad hip was his right. He had to come over it, keep any weight from staying on it, and he duck hooked it into the people. Well, I kind of semi-topped mine, but mine went up the middle, just running.
When you guys were all in your prime, who was the better shot maker between the two, Byron or Ben? I know that Ben was a better putter than Byron. What about shot making? Were they equally versatile, Sam?
Well, I thought Byron might have been a better driver and a long iron player, but I think Hogan then took the show. He was better around the green and on the green.
In terms of hitting the ball at different heights and cutting it and drawing it, did you fellas in the 30s and 40s and 50s play more shots, do you feel, than the guys do today, where they tend to hit one kind of shot more often than not?
Well, I think the big hitters today, they fade, most of them are faders, because they can control that, not as long, but they can keep it in play. That's the whole thing, to keep it in play. But Hogan was a hooker until he said, well, I got to get out of this and go from left to right some. Well, of course, he monkeyed around with his swing, and I'll say this for him, he was a gutsy little guy, and he didn't say anything and didn't do anything, and he just tended to his own game. Byron, on the other hand, was a good shot maker. He was a bold putter, but I don't think he was the putter that Ben was.
Let's go ahead and talk to Bill in Arizona. Hello, Bill.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Bill.
Thanks a lot for the senior tour. You really brought it along. I'd like you to comment on our Arizona golfer, Johnny Buller, who I understand was a good friend of yours once upon a time, and still probably is.
John and I went on a tour together. We were in Miami. I had just gone with Dunlop. They paid me $500, one set of clubs a year, a dozen balls a month. So I met John. Actually, it was in Kentucky. He was out hitting balls, and I was with Nelson Long, a pro there at home. And every time he didn't put this 2-wood, I guess, or 3-wood in the trap, he'd beat the ground with it. I said, hey, look at this guy. He carried his hair way down there, and he'd sort of blow it out. And I met him then later on in Florida, and we went over to Nassau. I was talking to Craig Wood and Henry Pickard. And I said, what do you think my chances are to go on the tour? Craig Wood was the instigator in getting me to play the Dunlop clubs. And he said, you want to know whether you got to stay at home and teach or play the tour? And I said, yes, sir. He said, why don't you go on and get on the tour to California? If you can't make it, I'll give you money enough to come home on. I said, I'm on my way. Buller said, I'll go with you. So we drove together, went to California. But the best thing was, I said, Boo Boo. I call him Boo Boo, and he called me Jackson, my middle name. And I said, Boo Boo, would you like to split while we're out here? I heard some of these other pros split. Well, I thought, well, with one's playing well, he'll be able to carry the other one on, maybe to do something. He says, you can't play a lick. I said, I'll play you for $5 every time. Well, okay, you only want to make it? No. And so he came out on the 71st hole, and he walked up and he said, Jackson, you got a 6-iron. I said, don't look like a 6-iron. He said, oh, no, I just finished. I said, what'd you shoot? He said, never mind. I hit a 7-iron. He said, well, about 175 yards then. And I put it in about 10 feet from the hole. I said, If I'd used a 6, it'd been over the green. Well, anyway, I won $400 and Boo Boo didn't win any. We go up to Oakland. I win the Oakland and we're on the way. I said, give me my 5. He said, the game is off. The game is off.
Didn't you fellas play last year in the Legends of Golf together?
Yes, we did. I called him. I said, how about come and play? And this might be the last time we'll ever play together. And he was there. I was supposed to play this year, but I was having little problems and with not my back, but one foot, my toe, and I couldn't walk too well. So I had to call off. And I'm looking forward to maybe next year to see John.
How was it to play with him last year? Was it great fun? Did you talk about the old days?
Oh yeah, we reminisced about this and that and the other, and it was something. We would flip a penny. Who got the penny? If it came right down to a penny, he took a car first year, then I'm taking mine the second year. So off and on, so it went. But we roomed together a lot. Matter of fact, we slept together at my uncle's place when we were playing LA Open the first time. And John could pull the covers up, and he'd wipe his face and then do that one more time, gone. It's just like you'd cut a light off. And I'm over there whopping that bad boy. I'm turning one way and then the other, and then, oh, it was awful. And we finally, you know, he'd get up in the morning and boy, go boom, boom, boom to the bathroom. And then he'd come back and jump on me in bed. And well, that went on, so I finally said, Boo Boo, we're going to have separate rooms now. And then after that, we had separate rooms.
Did he jump on you last year at the Legends of Golf?
No, I'm glad he didn't.
We'll be right back with Sam Snead. Don't go away.
Incredible stories have accumulated around the great man's career. In 1942, as he was building up his legendary reputation, he won his first major championship, the PGA. It was a title that he would win 2 more times. It wasn't so remarkable that he won, given how great he was, but the fact that he convinced his draft board to give him the extra time, 10 days, so he could play in the championship. After the victory, he reported to the Navy, championship trophy in duffel bag.
So you had all the money and the trophy in that bag, right?
What money? $2,000.
You've got every dime that you ever made hidden somewhere. Bob Golby told me in the backyard that one night he was looking around for all that cash and that you came out to help him.
Yeah, he visited me, and he said I couldn't go to sleep, so I walked out in the yard, and I was just looking around, and he saw all of a sudden, heard this voice, hey, boy, what are you doing out here? He said, I'm looking for those cats. I said, if you find any, call me.
When you, tell us how you were in line to be drafted, right, a week before the PGA Championship. How'd you get out of it?
Well, I was in line, and there was a little time, I guess, to spare, so I broke rank, and I saw the admirals and all the others, guy with the, what do you call it, the scrambled eggs on the cat. And I hit this admiral. I said, hey, what's the chance of me not being inducted this week? PG is next week. Maybe I'll never play golf again.
Epaulets. That's what the scrambled eggs are called, right?
Epaulets?
Epaulets.
I never heard of that.
Okay, well, I think that's what it was.
I never
Go ahead.
got quite that far. But anyway, He said, well, what does it mean to you? And I told him 2,000 for win, 2,000 from Wilson Sporting Goods, and maybe another 10,000 in testimonials and whatnot. He said, oh my goodness. He said, go call your draft board. Tell them you've had your physical and you'll be inducted right after the PGA on next Monday. I burnt the carpet up walking, going down that hall. And they said, okay. And I beat Jim Tenisi. He'd beaten Nelson, Hogan, and Dutch Harrison. I said, they got to taken a whole lot out of Jim.
Now, the gallery was all fellas in uniform, right?
Yes. Matter of fact, Jim was also in service at that time, and they kicked his ball out of the woods twice.
And you still got him.
I don't think I could have whipped them all. I might not have whipped anybody, but
Did they let you play the next year?
No, I never got to defend my title at all.
But you won it again. Let's go ahead and talk to Jerry, who's calling from your home state of Virginia. Hello, Jerry.
Peter, Sam. Sam, this is Jerry Jackson. I was fortunate enough to play with you a couple weeks ago up at the Lower Cascades.
Oh, yes.
Peter, I just want everybody to know that after playing with Sam, that people that see the television clips of him from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, Sam Snead still has that same fluid swing that he had 40 or 50 years ago.
Thank you, Peter.
And he is one good ball striker, even at 84 years of age.
Tell us, what did he shoot, Jer?
76, and he did it just as easy as you and I walked from the kitchen to the living room, Peter.
He's been complaining that he's not putting very good lately. Is that
It's
true?
because he's running out of pigeons, and he's trying to come up with a story, Peter. Don't believe him. Don't play with him without getting strokes.
That's why we keep him right here on the set, because it's safer.
He's one of the best. Sam, you're a legend.
Thank you.
Anything you want to ask him before you take off?
How long has the Meister been playing with you, Sam?
Who, Meister?
Yeah.
I've had him 10 years.
That's his dog,
was-
everybody.
He's was 3 years old when I got him, and he's waiting on me tonight. I'm going back rather than stay up here tonight. I'm going back to be with the dog tonight.
That's been something that you've always loved. Hunting, fishing, being with your dogs. I mean, that's really home for you still, isn't it?
Sure is. I tell you, whenever an Australia, when I was a little kid, came by home, he didn't go any further. Boy, I was sneaking biscuits to him, one after the other. And I've always loved animals, and I quit hunting. I hunted in Africa, and I hunted in Alaska, and I've hunted all over United States, and I got to the point where I'd rather have something as a pet rather than shoot it.
I think a lot of people would agree with that. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with Sam Snead.
During World War II, the Ryder Cup wasn't played, but the United States named a Ryder Cup team to play in 1943 in the happy circumstance that the war might end before the competition was scheduled. What a team that never got to play. Captained by Walter Hagen, the team included Craig Wood, Jimmy DeMeritt, Horton Smith, Byron Nelson, Lloyd Mangrum, Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, and of course, Sam Snead.
Now, your first Ryder Cup was in 37, and again, Hagen was the captain. That must have
Right.
been a lot of fun to hang out with him, wasn't it?
Everybody was Bo. He played one round with me. Bo, I want to play a round with you. I want to see what you're doing. And I got to play in one match, and that was singles. I didn't get to play in the others, but I kind of fell in love with, well, so to speak, with Hagen over there. He said to me, he said, Sam, how about you taking the little Lossie out for dinner or dance tonight? I'm going to give Mama a golf lesson. I said, mm-hmm. That was funny. That was funny. So that was my meeting Walter Hagen. He was quite a character, a wonderful man. He's the only one. He was the first guy to be able to get in the clubhouse in St. Andrews. First time that he broke that the little string where golf pros were caddies.
Well, they got tired of him pulling up in the front door in that big limousine, and he had a footman and a servant and a chauffeur and a butler. And he had all these people waiting on him hand and foot right outside the clubhouse, right?
He was a pistol, I tell you. He was something else. And everybody liked Walter. Wonderful guy. His head was always back and walking forward. He said, smell the flowers and listen to the birds as you walk down the street, because you're not coming that way again.
That's a great line. Gene Sarazen said that, and we were just visiting with Gene a couple of weeks ago, that Walter Hagen reminded him of Arnold Palmer when he eventually played with Arnold, that they were both a little wild from tee to green, but that they could hold whatever was necessary to make threes and fours. Do you feel that way?
Yes. Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and talk to Eric in Florida. Hello, Eric.
Hi, Peter. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
Really enjoying the show. I wanted to ask Sam about his Ryder Cup experiences. Who was his favorite partner? And also, what was his toughest match, the biggest challenge? And did he enjoy the Ryder Cup format?
Well, I did. Only match that I disliked, we were playing at Whitworth, and I'm playing with Harry Weekman. And one hole, which was the 9th hole, my ball is in the fairway, and I got up there. There were 5 guys. I saw them at the next shot. They kicked my ball under what you call gorse bush, and then I'm on the par 5 on the 16th hole, and I see the ball in the fairway, and I got down there. It's back in a ditch, some 70 feet off the fairway. Oh, it hit somebody, and I said, it sure did. And I lost. That cost me the match. Oh, I would have won the match. I would not have won. I lost a match in my all time I played in the Ryder Cup team. But that was just one time that I thought that was pretty chicken.
Now, when you would play with Hogan and Nelson and Lloyd Mangrum in the 40s and 50s at places like Pinehurst, our guys weren't kicking the golf balls of the English, were they?
No. Mangrum wasn't playing very well, and I'd come out of the trash, and he says, Nudie, called me Nudie, can I put the thing where you can't ever get at it? And I said, Lloyd, try a little bit harder. But I had a lot of fun playing with all the partners I had, and I wouldn't say what is who or anything about that, but I liked everyone I played with. They were all great guys.
You only lost 2 matches out of the 12 that you played in singles, out of the 13 actually. You won 10 and lost 2, which made me think again that match play was something, in addition to your 3 PGAs, that you really loved, and you've spent your time away from the tour really playing match plays against like the fellow who just called Jerry from Virginia, who you beat out of some money a couple of weeks ago. That's really your favorite, isn't it?
Yes, I like match play. You can have an 8, that only means 1 hole. So you can go after it more in match play than you do when you're playing metal.
You know, we've never talked about, tell me a little bit about Audrey, your wife Audrey.
My wife Audrey, well, I knew her ever since we were in low grade at school. And we sort of kind of liked each other right through high school. And she was a good, very, very good athlete. She was a little on the heavy side, but didn't make any difference. That's when they had 6 girls on the basketball team, or 7. And there was one in the center, it was 2 guards in the center. And the girl that she was with, boy, she came out of there black and blue. This one came over to me and says, look, get this animal off of me. She's killing me. So I went over to her and I said, hey, look, take a little easy on her. I'm going to have to call you. She said, you better not. I happened to be looking the other way when she made a foul. But that was wonderful. She was a good golfer. She was 6 handicap, but she won the club championship at Boca Raton, I think, a couple of times. and she didn't care about playing with the girls. At that time, they weren't very good. She wanted to play with the men. She could hit a 4-wood, 200 yards, but she was strong, and she loved sports.
Were you able to still be a pretty good husband and father, given that you were on the road so much?
Well, you know, my kids didn't hardly know me. Boy, they got shied away when I came in, and I couldn't get on them for everything they did. But Pop had to make it some way. And when the first one was born, well, they stayed with him about 2 weeks. But she says, "Now he's yours. I've had him all day. He's yours now." I just had a bad round. Oh, yeah, that's great. I said, "Hey, I can't go this route anymore." So after 2 weeks, we'd go home.
And you worry about the birdies and eagles again, let her worry about the babies?
That's right.
I got you. We're going to take a short break. Sam will still be here. Don't go away. I know one of the really exciting things that you're up to with your family is you and Jack are starting to build some golf courses together.
Yes, we got one there. We'll start in the spring at Flatwoods in West Virginia. It looks like we might land 2 or 3, maybe down in Norfolk, Virginia. Well, we got this and that all over. But I think it's about time you built the golf courses a little bit more for the guy that pays the freight. That's the average guy. Goes out and he's a 90, 95 shooter, and all of a sudden he plays some of these golf courses, he's 140, 130. Well, I know that's very bad, but you can still build a golf course where they can play well and enjoy it and also be tough enough. It's just yardage, that's all it is.
Do you still feel like the golf course should start off fairly easy so you can get into a little bit of a rhythm?
I've always felt that the first hole should be a fairly easy hole, a one to get started off, not one that kills you. If you get started off with double bogey, boy, they don't care about playing anymore.
No fun for anybody.
No.
You've been playing with amateurs and beating them for fun your whole life. If you were going to give our viewers, which are really all of those people, all of us hackers are sitting here and listening to you, what's the best piece of golf advice in terms of keeping it simple that you could give us?
Well, actually, golf is rhythm and timing. If you just swing the club like it's rhythm, I think the best thing I've ever had in my life, as far as teaching is concerned, I tell the girls that are starting or having a lot of problems, I said, look, you just swing up and pull down. It's that simple. Swing up and pull down. And I tell you, I had one woman there, and she started doing that. The best she'd ever done for 9 holes was 75. And when I got through with her, she came in, her husband, and looked me up and said, "Guess what my wife shot today?" I said, "I don't know." He said, 52. That's 23 shots better than the round she'd had, the best round she'd ever had. And he said, "Boy, I'm going to be lucky now."
Well, we're lucky because
Thank you.
you'll come back to see us again.
Thanks, Peter.
Great to be with you, Sam.
Great.
Been great to see you. Will you come see us again?
I will, anytime.
Okay. You set all the golf records. We want you to set the most appearances on Golf Talk Live record. Next week, we're going to spend 90 minutes with Ray Floyd right here on Golf Talk Live. Until then, thank you for being with us. Have a great night, and thanks. Good night.